Hey guys, so this video we're going to focus on the lymphatic system, which is sort of an overview of how all that immune system stuff we've been learning about links into an actual system in the body. So our learning intention is to know the primary and secondary organs of the lymphatic system, its function, and also to understand the role of lymph nodes. So what is it? So the lymphatic system is a series of thin vessels which collect extra tissue fluid from our body. And so that fluid is known as lymph. And it's where many of our white blood cells are involved in immunity. So this diagram sort of shows that, imagine this is skin cells, and the fluid surrounding that tissue is obviously draining into this, what's called a lymphatic vessel. And when it enters, it's now known as lymph fluid. So this is a way of sort of balancing out our fluid levels. As fluids leave our bloodstream, the lymphatic vessels collect the excess fluid. So we've talked about it's really, really important in fluid balance, and waste removal is the other role. But it is massively important in our immune system and identifying pathogens and coordinating our different immune responses. So it really is part of our immune system and the way it functions in the human body. So the components, there's the primary organs. Now these are the ones where most of the B and T cells are produced and matured. That's our bone marrow and our thymus. So both B and T cells are made in the bone marrow. But the reason why they're called B cells is because they mature in the bone marrow, and T cells are called T cells because they mature in the thymus. And we've got these secondary organs, our appendix, our spleen, our tonsils, and these other organs you may have heard of called lymph nodes. And they're all connected with these lymphatic vessels, which allow them to communicate to one another. So you can see in this diagram of the human body, we've got hundreds of lymph nodes throughout our body. These are these little pink dots. And then we've got our primary organs, our thymus, and our bone marrow as well. So you can see there's a lot of organs involved in our lymphatic system. The one we're mainly going to focus on are lymph nodes. And again, there are hundreds of these found throughout the body. And what they do is they allow the one-way flow of lymph, or that fluid, through them. So lymph goes into the lymph node through what's called an afferent vessel. So you can see here, this lymph node has got 3 different afferent vessels, and it exits via the efferent vessel. So it's got the one-way exit. Now, the reason why lymph nodes are really, really important is because these are the sites of antigen presentation, which we talked about a few videos ago. So this is the place where those MHC2 markers are really, really shown to the T helper cells. So this is an example of how it might work. So here we've got a nail piercing the first level of defense, and we've got our second level of defense. We know inflammation, phagocytic cells such as macrophages will go to this area, the release of histamine. Now we've got a dendritic cell, which is an antigen presenting cell, engulfing some of those pathogens and showing it off on its exterior. Now it's going to be showing that off using MHC2, and it travels through the lymph fluid to the nearest lymph node. And here is when it presents it to the T helper cells, and the T helper cells then go and activate the necessary cells that are required to fight off that particular pathogen. So the lymph nodes, as you can see, are where those antigen presenting cells will travel to present those antigens. So in review, the lymphatic system is made of primary and secondary organs, and they're really, really heavily involved in the immune system. And the lymphatic system is full of a fluid called lymph. Okay, we know that those antigen presenting cells travel through the lymph to the lymph nodes where they do their presentation, and the T helper cells in the lymph nodes are what coordinate the rest of the immune response. So it sort of puts a location to all of the different things that we've been learning about over the last few videos. So I hope this helped.